Welcome to my sculpting channel here on YouTube, folks. Here is the dragon that I'm working on. This is a dragon sculpture that I'm going to be using in some of my tabletop games. I've always had the ambition of actually creating my own gaming miniatures and gaming sculptures, right? So this is one of them. Of course, most people that commission me, they want display pieces, right? And that's a sculpture like this can certainly just sit on a shelf if it has to. But what I'm doing here is I'm actually blending the clay. Now, you'll notice that there's like a two-tone color here. That's because I like to mix my resin clays with other clays. I'm using this orange super sculpty clay. It's nice and soft, and I'm mixing it with my green stuff, which is the resin clay, and I mix it in different ratios depending on what I want. Usually it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but sometimes I'll do 1 part baking clay, 2 parts resin clay. I'll mix the ratios because that changes the properties of the clay depending on what I want. So if I want it less sticky, more stretchable, more pliable, I use more baking clay. And that's what I did here. And so you notice that the clay is much darker, right? It's almost like a two-tone thing going on here, and that's going to disappear when I paint the sculpture, of course. I do paint all my sculptures, so I'm not really worried about the two-toned aspect of it. So I have this side, and what I'm doing is trying to get, like some of the rib impressions formed here. I'm going to be smoothing these out a little bit more so they're not so pronounced. And that's what I'm doing now. And notice that I use my ball tool sort of as a rolling pin. This is very important because this clay is very difficult to blend to itself. When you add chunks of it to the model, you get all these like lines and cracks and things. And so what I do is I wet my ball tool and I use it like a rolling pin. I just kind of smoothen everything out, make sure that the clay blends into itself before adding any details. And I also use all parts of my tool. I use this thinner part as well to get into areas that I need to. And also this, but I have many different sizes of ball tools, and I like to use the end of the tools as well as a rolling pin to get into these difficult areas. And that's what I'm doing now. I added some of the scales here. I'm actually using dinosaur morphology, dinosaur body plan, to kind of get the inspiration for the dragon. I like to do that with a lot of my fantasy pieces. Use real animals, whether they be prehistoric or whatever. Nature has just an amazing variety of inspiration. So this is the dragon so far. You can see all the detail that I've added to the head, and now I'm working down to the body. And look at this side. See, this side still has the globs. And now I have to go back and actually really smooth these out and blend them into the body of the dragon. So that's going to take a while, folks. I'm not going to video it. Not going to put it on video, sorry. So just want to give you guys an idea of how much work really goes into these models. When I'm doing my dogs for people, I use resin clay as well, and I use different kinds of resin clay, and they all present different challenges. So I have about 2.5 hours to work this clay before it becomes impossible to do anything with it. So I want to make sure that I have all my details in place before I stop. Okay, folks, well, this is just the very beginning. This is very beginning of the body for this dragon, and I just wanted to show you guys, to show you the progress that I have. And of course I will be updating this figure as I have, as I complete it. Okay, and I'm facing different challenges as I go along, and so I want to like document those and show you guys as the work progresses. Okay, folks, so that's all on the dragon. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will subscribe, and notice that my channel is now organized into playlists. So if you're not interested in fantasy, but you like my dog art, well, there's a playlist just for dogs. If you do like fantasy, and that's all you'd like to see, well, then there is a playlist for just my fantasy work. Okay, so thank you, folks, and I hope that you will come follow me on my channel or come follow my Facebook pages, MJ Critter Creations and MJ Wargaming Creations. Those are my Facebook pages. Have a great day, folks, and I will continue to work on this until completion. This is the dragon sculpture. Have a wonderful day, folks.